Hi guys, I'm glad to say again, and as always, first of all, thank you all for watching my previous videos and for subscribing to my channel. As I told you before, at the first video we start with the chapter 2, and you know why, and now we're gonna talk about the chapter 1. And so chapter 1 told about the first steps. So the first step in aviation career is a private pilot license. I'm going to tell you about what does it mean to have this license, what privileges and limitations does it give you, and what do you have to accomplish in order to get this license. Alright, let's go.
85 heavy, wind 260 at 14 and a 2 right for takeoff.
Let's start by saying that private pilot can be pilot in command and carrying passengers. But, and I'm gonna read it, okay, I'm sorry. As a private pilot, you cannot earn money or take money from passengers. At least you pro-share expenses such as fuel, oil, rent with passengers. So private pilot cannot work as the commercial pilot, both with passengers and alone. The only scenario when private pilot can fly like as a commercial is when he's flying for his own business, which of course not connected with flying passengers. Yes, and if private pilot sails planes or he is flying for charity. So, making a summary, you as a private pilot, you can carry passengers, but you have to pay for the flight as well. So you can fly your friends, but you have to share all expenses for the flight with them. And you can't like take passengers and fly them to the other city and they pay you for a job and pay you for a flight. Okay, the only way you can use a plane as a commercial, only fly for charity and fly for your own business. Like if you have a plane and you want to fly from one city to another, it's okay, you can make it as a businessman but not carrying passengers. Okay, so next one we have two very important definitions, which is currency and proficiency. So currency is when you current to fly. In other words, it when you meet all necessary requirements, all legal requirements for pilot. So that means that so the currency means that you have to have biannual flight review in preceding 24 months, once in preceding 24 months, and to have a current medical certificate. So proficiency, on the other hand, it's your personal limitations. Proficiency is your personal limitations. So for example, if you feel that like this particular wind right now at the airport is not easy for you and you have never experienced such wind, you have to think that you're not proficient for flying this time. Okay, so it means that it's your own feeling of whether you can fly right now or not. So currency is you current like legally. Proficiency is you if you feel that you can make this fly through your own experience. So next, if you current to fly, then you can carry passengers. Of course, again, using our previous rule about pro-share expenses. Okay, so you can carry passengers, but there are some rules. So if you want to carry passengers in a daytime, you have to have at least 3 takeoff and landings in preceding 90 days, and you have to be in control of the airplane. And if your airplane, for example, has a tailwind, you have to make these three landings till the full stop. It's the thing you have to do to be legally carry passengers. Okay, so if you want to carry passengers at night, you have to have at least 3 takeoffs and landings till the full stop, the 1 hour before sunrise and 1 hour after sunset. Of course, we have some more rules that you have to know in order to be a good pilot. So the first one is that you have to notify the FAA in 30 days if you have changed your address. In the United States, the whole communication between FAA and pilots are still completed by using the usual mail, post office. Okay, so if you change your address and you didn't notify an FAA that you did it, so if you have any like if you get new license or they have some documents to send you, they will send you at this particular address and you will never get it. Okay, so there is no way you can write an email to the FAA and tell them that just send me my documents here on this mail. No, only your real address where you live at this particular moment. And the second rule is very interesting one, and when I heard it I was like, okay, so if you were caught driving under influence, you have to report on yourself in 90 days after this situation. It was, for me, it was like, okay, so why do I have to do this? But at the end, I realized that FAA will find out that you made it. Of course, we know that you don't have to drink if you want to be a pilot, but if this still happens, you have to notify an FAA. Of course, you may get some penalties, but they're not going to be as hard. And if you, like, for example, if you don't want to say about this and you want to hide the situation, they will still find out it. So of course, the rules about regarding alcohol you already know. I told you about this in previous video. So it that you have to have at least 8 hours from bottle to throttle, 0.04% alcohol in your blood, and of course you can fly if you're using drugs. So one more rule for pilot is that every time you fly, you have to have the license, your ID, and current medical certificate. Why do you have to have ID with your? Because as you can see here, this is the pilot license. It's still student pilot license, but I still have it. I already have it, and it's fine. I like it. It's very nice, but it's not what we're talking about. So as you can see, here is no photo of you. And in order to be able to prove that this is your license, if somebody asks you, you have to show the license, you have to show ID and your current medical certificate. So how did I get this license, even though I'm not learning yet? In order to be able to be eligible to fly in the United States, you have to have at least student pilot certificate. So what is the main rules if you want to get this card, like this card, but as a private pilot? So first of all, you have to be at least 17 years old. You have to be able to speak and understand English language. You have to get the endorsement from your flight instructor for a test. You have to pass your written test with the mark at least 70%. And right now let's talk about the practical part. First one, you have to finish all necessary training, and you have to get the endorsement from your instructor for a check ride. Next, you have to pass an exam for instructor and build necessary hours, flight hours. There are requirements for flight hours. You have to have at least 40 hours of flight time. Okay, among them you have to have 20 hours flying with instructor, including 3 cross-country hours, 3 hours at night, including 1 hour cross-country for 100 miles, with 10 landings till the full stop. Also you have to have 3 hours of instrument flight and 3 hours as the preparation for your exam. And of course you have to have 10 hours of solo flight. And among these 10 hours of solo flight, you have to have 5 hours of cross-country flight and 1 solo for at least 150 miles with 3 takeoff and landings at the different airports. Okay, and also 3 takeoffs and landings at the airport with the control tower. And I almost forgot, you have to have a medical certificate. So we have a medical certificate divided into 3 parts: first class, second, and the third class certificate. For private pilots, you have to have the third class medical. The first class is for airline transport pilots. The second one is for commercial pilot. For you, for right now, for the first step, is gonna be a private pilot, is the third class medical. So I will tell you a little bit requirements for every medicals briefly. Okay, so the first class medical is eligible for 6 months if you are 40 years and older. If you're under 40 years, the first class medical is eligible for 12 months. The second class medical eligible for 12 months, no matter what age are you. Okay, so the third class medical, which is for private pilot, student pilot, and recreational pilot, is eligible for 2 years if you are 40 years and older, and 5 years if you are under 40 years old, but calendar years. Okay, let's say, for example, if you got your license on the 1st May 97, you got your license. The last day of the May is gonna be May 30th, as far as I remember. I can be wrong. 5 years later. And the most interesting part here at this topic is we have to be able to distinguish between category, class, and type of aircraft. Okay, sometimes it might become very, very confusing, and it still is for me, but I'll try to explain it for you. Maybe I'll help you to get it quicker. So aircraft divided by following category is the airplane, rotorcraft, glider, lighter than air. So the classes are single engine land, single engine sea, multi-engine land, multi-engine sea. Then we have helicopter, glider, airship, and balloon. And type depends on the particular aircraft. It's like, for example, Cessna 172 Skyhawk or Airbus A320. So the type is A320, Cessna 172. But there is also a tricky part here, because aircraft category which made by certification is normal, utility, and acrobatic. We have categories we told before: airplane, rotorcraft, glider, lighter than air, powered lift. And by certification, we have normal, utility, and acrobatic. And let me kill once and for all, there are 3 types of airplane you have to have additional endorsement. And they are high performance, complex, and tail airplane. High performance airplane is the airplane which engine has more than 200 horsepower. Complex airplane is a plane that has retractable flaps, landing gear, and controllable pitch propeller. And of course, tail airplane is the airplane that has a wheel at the tail. Okay, if you want to fly these planes, you have to have an endorsement in your logbook that you can fly this plane. So if you have some problems with category, class, and type stuff of the airplane, you can make it easier for you by comparing it in real life, like comparing planes with the cars. Let me tell you how I learned it. For example, let's talk about cars. Category is car, truck, and tractor, for example. Class is, for example, diesel engine, gas engine, or rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive car. And type is like, for example, Mercedes C-Class, Mercedes E-Class, BMW 5, BMW 7, and etc. It helped me a lot, and maybe it will help you. Let's one more time. So category, like airplane, rotorcraft, glider. Category in cars: car, track, tractor. Next we have class. Class is single engine land, single engine sea, and etc. In a car is diesel engine, all-wheel drive, and other stuff. Okay, and type, it's like Cessna 172, Airbus A320. Here we have BMW 5, Mercedes E-Class. Okay, that's all. I hope it will help you a lot. At least it helped me. So I hope this video was useful. Press some buttons, subscribe to my channel, and catch some links at the description to this video. And stay tuned.